Hi, this is Wiz. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the Polestar 4. Thanks to Polestar Switzerland that gave me this press car for 3 days, I now have a pretty good idea about how good this Polestar 4 is. And I'm now able to answer my main question. Would this Polestar 4 replaces my actual Polestar 2 BST230? Watch the video and find out. So this is the Polestar 4 long-range dual motor. One motor in the front, one motor in the back, for a combined horsepower of 544 and 686 Newton meters of torque. It has the 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in a staggering 3.8 seconds. There are 4 levels of option packs available: the Pilot, the Plus, the Pro and the Performance. This one has the Pilot, which gives all the assisted feature, and it has also the Plus, which gives things like the Harman Kardon sound speaker systems and the glass panoramic sunroof and a few other bits. Then you have the Pro package, which adds 21-inch wheels and some gold, Swedish gold accent into the cabin. And finally, you have the Performance pack that adds 22-inch wheels, the Swedish gold seat belts, the updated Brembo brake calipers, and a refined and retuned suspension. This one has only the Pilot and the Plus packs. As you can see, it has what I would call small for this car 20-inch wheels. Personally, I would never spec this car with this color and with these wheels. I would rather go with the bigger 21 or even better the 22 of the Performance pack. If we have a look about some styling details, we have the split headlights with the pixel LED technology, which are the matrix LED. I like the fact that the front end is quite low. It gives almost a sport car look to the Polestar 4. You'll see this car has quite a lot of cameras. A few cameras and sensor there, and also here you can count up to 3 different cameras, 1, 2 and 3. Those are for the self-parking features and also for the 3D representation of the car while parking. In my opinion, the Polestar 4 suffers of a kind of identity crisis. It is marketed as a SUV, but it looks also like a hatchback. But it is quite raised up, not as raised up as a proper SUV. So I would say that it sits in between what would be a sleek SUV coupe style and a proper hatchback. Looking at the side profile, I like all those sculpted lines that gives a certain dynamic to the style of the car. I also like the roofline that is going quite down. And overall, this car has a futuristic vibe. It looks like a concept car that escaped from some Polestar design studio. But no, this car is available for sale. Looking at the back, the main attraction is the lack of rear glass. Instead, you get a 3-megapixel HDR camera. It's located in order to give you the same sight you get if you look at the rear view mirror into the cabin of the car. The total length of the car is 4 meters and 84 centimeters, so it is a quite big car, and it is a quite large car as it goes up to 2 meters. Height is 1 meter 56. 100 kilowatt hour batteries. There are two variations for the car. The single motor with 286 horsepower and this dual motor with 544 horsepower. The estimated WLTP range for the dual motor is around 586 kilometers. This is the key of the car. You can notice that there are no buttons whatsoever. And for whatever reason, the Polestar design department always forget about designing a nice key. When you approach the vehicle, it will turn on the illumination. Note that the Polestar logo is also retro illuminated. And then the car would unlock once you get closer to it. And it would present the door handles. You can also lock and unlock by pressing here. We're gonna have a look at the trunk or boot. You can open either by pressing the button here or by waving your foot under the rear bumper. Let's go the old style way. So the boot has a capacity of 524 liters. You cannot see into the cabin unless you open this portion here. This is practical if you have a dog into the boot, otherwise, poor dog, it would not feel very well. There is another small compartment here where you can store your charging cable. And you can adjust the 8 by gaining a little bit more room. You get the 524 capacity in this configuration. In the front, you get a very small frunk. Not that big. I believe it is 14 liters. All in all, I really like the shape of the Polestar 4. It looks very modern, it looks very futuristic. It is based on the Zeekr 001 platform, meaning that this Polestar 4 is almost 100% Chinese car. I can see you coming in the comments, oh, I would never buy a Chinese car. But keep in mind that you are probably typing this comment from your Chinese built phone or computer. I mean, we have to face it, as long as we talk about EV, China is the king right now. So this is a pretty big and large SUV. Is not the more convenient if you need space. As we will see later on, internal space on the cabin is quite huge, but if you need to charge things, to carry things into the boot, it is probably not the best choice. On the other hand, if you want a stylish, sleek, coupe-like SUV, I think this is one of the best choices you can have right now on the market. And now let's have a look at the interior of this Polestar 4. So let's get into the cabin of the Polestar 4, where you are greeted by a 10.5 driver screen, and the main display is a 15.4 high resolution. And then you got a third screen, which is probably the most controversial, is the one that gives you the rear visibility. You have tons of menu. You need a little bit of time to get used. There is a little learning curve, but other than that, it is also quite intuitive. You select the menus here on the left, and then for everything that you select, you got several choices here that you can enable or disable. It is quite Tesla-like. You can have access to various apps. There's YouTube also. And the infotainment is based on the Android Automotive, which means that it has a Google Map integration and a lot of Google features integrated directly into the car. This is something I like. I love to have the integrated Google Maps into the Polestar. This is something that I'm enjoying also into my Polestar 2. And also, if you have a Google Home automation at home like I do, you can also control your appliance from the car. Like you are getting home and you can ask Google to turn on the lights or open your garage door. You can have a split screen, and here you have access to different stuff like your music selection, where you can have a Spotify, YouTube Music. Here you have access to your phone. You can move those widgets around. And there is also a wireless CarPlay. And Apple CarPlay on a 15.4-inch screen looks glorious. That's amazing. One thing I really like about this screen is this split view possibility, where you can really choose what you want to see predominantly shown in the display, and you can also go full Google Map. This is absolutely stunning. According to Polestar, the driver display is done in a way that it will show you only what you need to be careful while you are driving. So it is very minimalistic. You have three different modes that you select here with this button on the steering wheel. You have the normal mode, I would say, and then you can have the navigation displayed on the screen. And finally, you can have a visualization of the car that will help when you have the driving assistance enabled. This is very Tesla-like. You got this massive center console, but unlike the Polestar 2, you have quite a lot of storage here underneath. This is the wireless charging location. And here you got two cup holders, two USB-C ports, and same as Tesla, there are no physical buttons to open the glove box. So you will need to learn how to do that. And as I said before, it requires a little learning curve. You can put these as shortcuts on the main screen. All the cameras into the Polestar 4 gives access to this kind of vision when you want to maneuver your car. Contrary to my Polestar 2, I like the fact that you get both the 360 degrees view and the rear or the front view you get by swapping like this, one side or another maybe. Let's see, yes. And you can have also the 3D representation of the car. Contrary to a Tesla where you get the exact configuration of your car, here you only get these white colored Polestar 4 with the optional 22-inch wheels. But that gives you a pretty good idea about how better those 22-inch wheels fits the Polestar 4. The perceived quality into the cabin of the Polestar 4 is really great. You have almost no hard plastics. Even if in the lower part of the cabin here, it is soft plastic. Everything screams quality. You are far from what you can find in a Tesla. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big Tesla fan. I had 2 Tesla in the past, but if you want something Tesla-like but a bit more refined, Polestar is the right one. And now one of the main attraction of the cabin of the Polestar 4 is this 8.9-inch screen that serves as a rear view mirror. So as I said previously, there is no rear glass, so this is the view you get. And Polestar did this in order to put further back that structure of the car and allows you to have a very enormous panoramic sunroof and to get more space for the people in the back of the car. But getting back to this, you get used pretty quick, and the advantage is that it gives you a very wide view of what is happening on the back of the car. There are a few adjustments that you can do here. You can tilt a little bit what you see, but one downside of this rear view screen here is about people like myself. I wear glasses with progressive lenses, and despite Polestar says that you get used in a few days with it, I still didn't get used after 3 days of driving this car. It means that when I glance at the rear view screen, looking with my normal position when I'm driving the car like that, the image I see on the rear view screen is blurred. If I want to see a crisp image, I would have to tilt my head up like this. And a second issue with this rear view screen is that the objects appears way closer than they really are. And this is especially annoying when you are maneuvering. If you are going in reverse, you will have the impression that you are going to hit the car that is just right behind you, and in reality, you are not going to. But as a tech guy myself, I salute all the technology that is present into the cabin of the Polestar 4. Another great feature of the Polestar 4 is the immense place you get on the rear seat. The seat is not even on my driving position, because when you put the car in park and you exit the car, the seat goes back to have an easy exit. And even despite that, I still have plenty of legroom. USB-C ports, and there is a screen that is not as big and as feature-packed as the one you find on a Tesla Model 3, for example, but still you can control the media, the temperature, and you can also slightly tilt the backrest of the rear seats, and you can also hit the seats. If we put down the armrest, there is a little storage here, and from here you can also move the backrest of the rear seats. This would be the normal position, and then you can recline them for better comfort. I like this LED light here on the back, and together with the other one on the doors and on the dashboard gives a very good ambience into the Polestar 4's cabin. So if you don't need an enormous trunk load capacity, but you want a very bright and spacious cabin, this is the car for you. So talking about the exterior of the Polestar 4, I like it a lot. I would buy it with the performance pack, which add the 22-inch wheels and the Brembo disc calipers and a few other bits that would enhance the look and make it more aggressive. But other than that, I really do like the styling of the Polestar 4. You can see behind me my actual car, the Polestar 2 BST230 and the Polestar 4. As you can see, the Polestar 4 is a way bigger car than the 2. The Polestar 2 is based on the concept Volvo 40.2, if I remember correctly. That was supposed to be a future production Volvo car, and it is based on internal combustion engine architecture. When Geely, the owner of Volvo, and the Polestar decided to split the two brands and to make Polestar an EV brand only, then these become the Polestar 2. Which means that the architecture is now a little bit dated. I think the prototype Volvo was presented in 2016, while the Polestar 4 is based on the Zeekr 001 architecture that is made specifically for EV. So this is a way more modern architecture. As I said, my Polestar is a limited edition BST230, so there are only 230 units worldwide, and even less is in this nebula green color. The interior of my Polestar 2 is way less refined. It is not that bad by any means, but it has not the same quality standards, and it is also way more cramped as it is based on the Volvo XC40. And same on the rear, you don't get all the room you get into the Polestar 4. Still, I like my BST a lot. It has a very good handling thanks to the two-way adjustable Öhlins suspensions. But would I swap my Polestar 2 for the brand new Polestar 4? Absolutely yes. I love this Polestar 4. So there you have it. I hope you liked this video. If yes, please give a thumb up and subscribe in order to access more content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.